Is sponsored by Gillette, the best a man can get.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to First Things First. I'm Jenna Wolf. That is the Hall of Famer, Chris Carter. This is our NBA guy, Nick Wright. Only one way to start a show with your NBA guy, and that's Nick Wright. Hey, we're almost done with the NBA, so you're going to have to pick up something else, Nick. Be our baseball guy.
I don't know if we would need to worry about that. Let's just enjoy today. All I'm trying to do is get through today. Just like you were just trying to get through that first sentence.
Went so
Hopefully
well.
I'll be more successful than you were, but go ahead.
It is Monday morning. I have not been taken seriously since Friday morning. That's why we started that way. Okay, that was unnecessary. Here are the questions we are discussing this morning.
Absolutely.
Where will Kawhi sign? We've got the latest. What's going on with the Celtics' future? Is it up in the air? We'll talk about that. But we have to start with one big trade. Say what you will about the Lakers, but despite all their dysfunction, they have managed to land two of the top talents in the game. LeBron last season and Anthony Davis in the last 48 hours. It is finally done. AD heads to LA in exchange. The Pelicans get Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and a plethora of first-round draft picks, including their number 4 pick from this year. Nick, you said this was the only way the Lakers could salvage the mess they have accrued over the last couple of months. What is your reaction to this trade and how it all came out?
My reaction is the Lakers now have the best duo in the league. The Lakers acquired the player that of all the players in the league is the most perfect fit next to LeBron. The pick and roll offensively will be unstoppable, and where LeBron has deficiencies defensively, arguably the best defensive big man in basketball, certainly one of the top 3, will cover that up quite a bit. The Los Angeles Lakers, independent of LeBron for their future moving forward, just acquired a 26-year-old, heart of his prime superstar. They will have him for this year, and he will sign a 5-year max contract after this season. So they will have him for 6 seasons, 5 at a minimum. So if you're a Laker fan, or if you're someone that wants to see LeBron compete for championships, everything that happened this offseason, as ugly and as awkward and as mismanaged it was, it all got wiped away with the trade for Anthony Davis.
Yeah, that's very good. The one thing that I'll point out with Anthony Davis, and I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but I'm just saying that Anthony Davis is such a good player that there is no situation that he does not fit in with. And if you look at all the free agents out there, there was not a player that he was not a good to perfect match with.
Totally.
And you go to the top to bottom. You can say Kawhi, with Kawhi being the most desirable of all the free agents, KD, even with an Achilles, Kyrie, Kimba. Who else you want to look at? Clay, if he was a free agent, if he was to leave Golden State, he is a perfect fit, but with LeBron James, because not only did LeBron get the type of help that he needs in this transition to Los Angeles, LeBron just became a better defender. Yep. LeBron can play up on guys on the perimeter now, because if you go to the bucket, you will have to face Anthony Davis. You can't put LeBron in a pick and roll, because LeBron can switch from a big to a small, to another small, to a wing player. He can do those types of things. And I think the most important thing, if the Lakers are going to be the Lakers, if they're going to keep Brandon and winning championships every decade, they needed a player like this. So for me, this was even more important than getting someone like LeBron James, because of the length of his contract, the style of basketball, and the way the Lakers, the Buss family, have done business. They had to get this Anthony Davis trade done.
They gave up a lot to get Anthony Davis, but it's clearly who they've been coveting for a long time. Did they give up too much, though? Are these two just enough without the pieces they gave up to make it work?
Well, listen, they now have some cap space. It's going to be either 24 or 28 or $32 million. That'll be ironed out in some details we'll get into later. There is, see, you remember that Mercedes S1000 you had once upon a time?
Yes.
I didn't even know that car existed. Do you remember what you paid for it?
I think at the time...
You don't have to give a number. I'm just saying you're a little hazy on it.
Yeah.
But you remember the car.
Yeah, about 130.
Okay, there you go. There you go. And that's a lot of money to pay for a car.
Yeah,
but
in the 90s, yeah, that was some gas.
But you remember the car.
He's the national treasure.
You remember the car.
Yes.
You remember having that you, listen, at that time, whatever it sounds like, whatever they told
I
you
probably remember more people when they looked at it and saw it was like, what is that?
What is that?
Yes.
However it made you feel driving it, whatever it was, whatever they told you, if you paid that for it, you were going to pay. because you wanted it and you had the money to spend. If you're the Lakers, your only path to you went from a team that missed the playoffs to the favorites to win the championship. You just acquired a player who last year, in a down year, in a year with minutes restrictions, averaged 26 and 12 and a career high 4 assists. The previous 2 seasons to last year, 75 games each year, averaging 28, 11, and was arguably the best defensive big man in the league.
I think it's very, very important, like Nick, that people like yourself and what you're saying. Let's get back to the numbers, because sometimes we miss these narratives when players, because of we're in the era where player empowerment, we forgot how good Kawhi was. Now, there was a little injury there, but we forget how good Anthony Davis was. What were those numbers again?
His last 2 years prior to last year averaged 75 games per season, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 4 combined steals and blocks. First team All-NBA both years, third in the MVP voting 2 years ago, Harden, LeBron, Anthony Davis. Last year, a down year with minutes restrictions, 26 points, career high 12 rebounds, career high 4 assists, career high in PER. PER is a somewhat flawed stat, but it's a pretty damn good one. The greatest in NBA history PER, your guy Michael Jordan. Second greatest LeBron James. Third greatest Anthony Davis. You can't get guys like this. People talk all the time, and I know we'll get into the Celtics, about the Celtics, the steal they got from Brooklyn. You'll never get a better trade haul than what the Celtics got from Brooklyn. They didn't get no player like Anthony Davis. They got first-round pick. Since LeBron came into the league, in my mind, there have been 4 guys that going into their draft were no doubt have to take them first overall. LeBron, Anthony Davis, Luka, who didn't go number 1, and Zion, who will. You now have 2 of them on the same team. This guy's been a superstar forever, has not played in big games early in his career, had injury difficulty. 26 years old, MVP candidate to pair with the best player alive.
Nick mentioned it, but kind of brushed over it. The Lakers are now, what, 3-1 favorites to win it all next year? Does that surprise you that it's been such a huge swing so quickly with a guy like Anthony Davis?
It doesn't surprise me based on what's happened the last week and a half in the NBA. If you look at the finals, if you look at the injuries, it has an impact on those odds coming up like that. Kevin Durant, kind of the kryptonite for LeBron James when he's with Golden State. It's on the record. I mean, he's going to leave Golden State, but he's injured now. So that affected, because New York would have been the Knicks if he added Kyrie or someone. Then you have to fight. Houston still has a very good team. But, no, you got it right. The only team that has 2 top 10 players healthy, the Lakers with AD and with LeBron, yes, they should be the favorite.
It was on the board 10 days ago that Kevin Durant was going to go to the Knicks and bring Anthony Davis with him.
Yeah.
I mean, and that LeBron, yes. And we were going to talk about LeBron and Tobias Harris. That we were going to be talking about, like...
Remember, I was upset, and you were trying to push it on me.
LeBron and
like
Kimba.
A bad new drug. Yeah,
remember?
Oh, man, Kimba.
Yeah.
I still do like Kimba, but it's not. He's not Anthony Davis. It's not LeBron and Anthony
Thank
Davis.
you.
Time now for Put a Grin on It, sponsored by CarMax. Let's look at this from the Pelicans' perspective. Yeah, they lose AD, but they gain Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks to presumably pair with Zion Williamson. Nick, start with you. Put a grade on this trade for the Pelicans.
Amazing how this works out. You hire a great general manager, and he makes the absolute most of a poor situation. I give them an A. You never win the trade when you're the one that gives up the superstar. But to get this much in return, 2 number 2 overall picks, the number 4 pick from this year's draft, and a couple future unprotected picks, he did as well as he possibly could have given the circumstance and wasn't worried about hurt feelings with the Lakers. I give David Griffin the Pelicans an A.
I'm going to go a little bit further and give him an A+. He was able to clear all this up before the next superstar, Zion, comes in there. I believe David Griffin would do a great job with those draft picks, and he resolved a very, very bad situation, and there wasn't a whole bunch of other people that could get anywhere close to this deal. The Knicks couldn't get close to this. Celtics couldn't get close to this. So this was the best deal to be had. Great for them.
And the timing of it, doing it before the draft so they can determine if they want to keep that pick, talk with the players, potentially move it. The timing of it was great for the Pelicans as well.
All right, got to take a break. You mentioned the Celtics. See, coming up, why couldn't Boston get in the Anthony Davis sweepstakes? We'll let you know next on FS1. You can always check us out on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
Tough for Danny Ainge to make trades that aren't with 14
That's what I hear.
minutes.
That's what I hear.
You think his heart